Hello, this is Dr. Breeze Harper of the Sistah Vegan Project, and I just wanted to give everybody a brief update about what's going on. So first of all, I want to share with you that I just signed my papers to be a research fellow in the Department of Human Ecology at the University of California, Davis a few weeks ago. And I'm really excited because I need an intellectual community to give me suggestions about my work. I need library access, so I finally have that. And the not so good news is that it's a non-paying position. So I had mentioned back in June 2013 to kick off the Sistah Vegan funding campaign is that part of the donations will go toward a salary so I can do what I enjoy doing and what you benefit from. So if you are still supportive of my work and you want to see me do more of what I speak about for the goals for Sistah Vegan Project, I appreciate if you could donate toward a salary for me. And what the salary will go to is just the basics. You know, as a mom of 2 children under the age of 5 and not having full-time employment despite having applied for over 100 positions in the past year, is that it's really hard to do this work and take care of the kids because I don't have the help I need for childcare, financial resources to do that. So a salary would just help me with that, help me have them in daycare 20 hours a week so I can do this work, and also help to pay for utilities, just the basics. So I'd really appreciate that. But I'm really excited to have this opportunity, and my proposal as a research fellow is to put the Sistah Vegan Conference together, which I'll talk about later, and also to research more on the vegan hip-hop movement and looking at key black male vegan activists and how they use hip-hop, and how they fuse this hip-hop language, culture to teach youths about going green and being vegan. So I'm so excited about that. I think it's going to be a beautiful project. And I personally am sick of the mainstream not really focusing on the positive aspects of what's going on in the lives of men of color in this country. Unfortunately, a lot of us are used to seeing the mainstream media pathologize black men, that they don't know how to save the environment, they don't know how to save their own health. And I just really wanted to do a project in which, I say, look at, this awesome work that's being done using hip hop and veganism amongst black men of the hip hop generation. Look what they're contributing. And, what I'll be doing basically is adding much needed information in the Western Academy, because no one's really taken that approach, looking at hip hop and veganism, eco-consciousness, and looking at black men who are doing that. So that's so awesome. So next is the Sistah Vegan Conference, Embodied and Critical Perspectives on Veganism by Black Women and Allies. So that's the title of our conference, and it takes place September 14th, 2013 from 10 a.m. until 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. It's a web conference, okay? A web conference. So what does that mean? It means that if you have access to a computer, you don't have to leave, you don't have to jump on a plane, a train, like so many of us in academia have to do when a conference is taking place. So this is a very green conference. I'm making it as accessible as possible, and I'm asking that people pay a $45 registration fee. And I just wanted to let people know that if you are used to going to conferences, this is a great deal. And it's really good for the environment. So I usually cannot attend any conferences because A, I don't have childcare to leave for a few days. I have to spend a lot of money on a plane ticket, and I have to spend money on a hotel. And literally it will cost me over $500 just to do that. And I don't have that type of money. A lot of people don't have that type of money. Making this a web conference makes it more accessible to those people who don't have the means, the financial means to do it, who are also, primary caretakers of young children and just can't leave. But also it's, more accessible for those of us who just may have issues with getting out, and flying and doing all this stuff. It's very good for the environment, I think. You wouldn't believe how badly our environment is abused just because, so many of us need to fly so much. So I'm trying to take that step to making the Sistah Vegan Project more accessible, but also just more responsible with taking care of our environment. And I think one of the most important things that I can do as an academic who sees that there's a lot of conferences always happening throughout the world, why can't we use web technology more to make that happen where all of us don't have to travel so much? This conference also, yes, it's focusing on Black women vegans and allies, but I just wanted to let you know you do not have to be Black identified or vegan to benefit from what is taking place in this conference. And I want to let people know that when I grew up in a K-12 education system in America. It was an all-white school system, and all of the literature we read was all about white authors, white experiences, and it was a little off-putting for someone like myself that was that's a black female, but at the same time it's not like I didn't learn anything, you know. Just because you don't identify as a particular race or ethnicity or class background doesn't mean you can't learn, because it's all connected, you know. It's all connected. So I've been asked, can I attend this conference? Is it, you know, I'm not Black, I'm not a vegan, but you know what this conference does, what it offers to you is using veganism as a platform to explore a whole range of social and environmental issues from the perspectives of Black women who are largely silenced amongst those that put out these conferences and these conversations in the mainstream, okay? And if you are just open to listening to this, you will learn a lot about, you know, what it means to be a racial minority, or what it means to not eat meat in this country as a woman or a woman of color. You'll learn a lot of things like, you know, some people don't actually transition into veganism only for animal rights, which is the mainstream reason, but a lot of women of color are going back to their indigenous roots, where a lot of them have found, at least where they've, you know, tracked a particular genealogy of food, wow, before colonialism, my people actually ate a plant-based diet. So I'm going to start using veganism as a way to understand how colonialism stripped me and my people away of a better, healthier path for food. You know, and how can we use those experiences to understand the larger structures in America, if you're, you know, like me in America, or, you know, broadly more the world? How can we understand everything? How is this connected? We have a great lineup of speakers. We have a speaker who's talking about her experience as a Black woman at an animal rights national conference, where she just notices certain things, like while this conference tends to think that everybody is heteronormative, or the conference really is not talking about how whiteness impacts the whole rhetoric around animal rights. We have Candace Laughinghouse. She's a PhD candidate at Regent College, and she's looking at the contradictions and challenges of Black parenting as a vegan, and then looking at Christianity, religion, and she's a PhD candidate in the theology department. We have two women who will be discussing a really important topic, healing, racial trauma healing, using yoga and veganism for Black girls and women. So I think this is a magnificent opportunity for people who are not used to these topics, to really think about, oh wow, veganism can also be used as a method to be, you know, both anti-racist and nutritional healing for young girls of color who have to go through microaggressions of racism on a daily basis in the USA. Okay, and I'll be giving a keynote lecture at the end of the talk. I'm so thrilled about Afrocentric veganism. I've talked about this for years, how much you know, those nutritional regimens really help to heal a lot of my physical problems, including fibroid tumors and eczema. But I also want to be more analytical and more critical about the Afrocentric rhetoric in veganism, Afrocentric veganism, and ask the question, is decolonizing our bodies truly possible using not just Afrocentric veganism, though that will be what I primarily look at, but is it possible in general when you're living in at least the USA and it has a moral economy based on neoliberalism? And I'll talk more about that during the keynote, but there's a clash if you want to promote decolonizing your body through vegan diets, which means you have to buy particular vegan commodities. Where do those commodities come from? They come from a neoliberal capitalist market, can we be free and decolonize our bodies using a capitalist market when capitalism itself is contingent upon oppressing, exploiting others, right? So I talk about that, those challenges, and also potential resolutions to really understand what a decolonized vegan philosophy can look like. So I'm very excited about this conference. Like I said, it's $45, and at the end of this video, you'll be able to click on a link that brings you to the conference website, and it shows the full speaker lineup and times, and it also will show you how to register. Okay? So at this point, it is August 21st, 2013 right now. Only 16% of the possible seats have been filled. So I'm just really hoping that people wait to the last minute to register for conferences, and that's the reason why that we haven't gotten many participants. So, just spread the word. You can feel free to download this video and put it on your website, your Facebook page, any type of social media that you use. I also am open to doing interviews for podcasts or a blog about the conference, just to kind of get the word out, okay? I think this is going to be an amazing opportunity, and if you're someone interested in feminist studies, critical food studies, critical race studies, critical animal studies, it's just everything, African American studies, critical whiteness studies, this is the conference for you, okay? Remember, you don't have to be Black identified or vegan identified. It's more about, using the platform of veganism to really understand what's happening in the world in terms of social justice, environmental justice, okay? So if you have any questions, always feel free to post a comment if you want it to be publicly displayed so other people can benefit from the answer. Or you can write me privately by using my email address, sistahvegan@gmail.com, okay? So I am a little busy. This Sistah Vegan project is a one-woman project. And, I basically do what I can when the kids are napping or if they're in childcare a few hours a week. So I may not be able to respond immediately, but I always respond, okay? So many blessings to everyone who's watching this, and I look forward to, what's to come in the next few weeks and months.